Okay.
So my 5 best tips for word of mouth marketing and getting your word of mouth skyrocketed through video content. Number 1, zombie videos. If you have a video of you with a celebrity, that gives you social credit. If you have a video with somebody in a social group, that means that social group can belong to you. You can do the second person, that social group, and connect those dots like a game of Go. You're the person. You're the interview girl if you have that social group. And number 2 is enlightenment videos. If you need to explain something or you need to send somebody a message, just make it a video. It's way more personal, connects with people, and plus you might be able to use it later, especially if you're explaining things. Number 3, learning videos are huge. If you post 1 tip a day, you'll be an expert at pretty much anything. You just need to make it seem like you're giving information, people trust you, you're a good resource to basically DJ out some content and info. 4 is inquiry. If you have an idea, put it out there. Ask if people want it. Because people will tell you whether it sucks or it's good.
Yeah.
Usually they won't tell you it sucks, they'll just scroll past. So that's how you know we need to test this more, see if it works. And then if you're not getting anything, don't put effort into something where you're like, oh, this is going to be my new company.
Yeah.
You can forget about it sometimes. Number 5, Zelly videos. This is my favorite thing. Every website page should have a video at the top of it because it's so much easier to digest something like that, and it creates so much trust and sells so well. The biggest thing is if you've explained something more than twice, you should have already made a video about it and then have it saved in a separate little folder and just send that as much as you can where you're like, here, are you asking me a stupid question? Here's the Q&A video that I made. Here's a Q&A article on my website. Just don't ask me the dumb questions, and you save like 20 minutes each time you send out that video. It's a time multiplier.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you some pointed questions about your business.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about what you do and what problems you solve for other people.
Okay. So I run an independent journal that's about decentralization of real estate, but it's actually a vehicle for a startup that uses not SEO keywords, but back-end coding to express a beautiful story to Google about what my clients are posting. And what my clients will eventually be posting is lots of content. So right now, my job is to fill in some content so that way my journal is actually a journal. And not just, some content that I scrubbed from RSS feeds from other pages.
Right.
So that's what my business is right now.
Yeah. It's becoming better than a backwater blog. You're making it like a really polished and fancy place for people to get traffic in their business. So I wanted to ask you, what's a good question your customer or client should be asking about themselves in the industry? What's a good question they should ask themselves when they're in your industry and avoiding the big problems?
All right. My client is actually anyone who is wanting to run an event that they need a lot of SEO traction on. They want their Eventbrite page to get tickets sold. And how do they do that? Well, with my startup, I have this back-end coding, process, if you want to call it that, where the client, for free, will actually input their information, like the date of the event, the people playing at the event, when it ends, when it starts, the venue. They will just plug this into a form, and my service, the value I provide, is that this information is going to be expressed to Google in that beautiful story that will make it just go right up to the top of the web page. Now, because it's still in the startup and I haven't finished the HTML, I can't release it yet.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so this is all in the formulation.
Pre-launch,
but right now, I am a journalist.
Right.
For lack of a better sense.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I have a quick lightning round for you. Could you just give like a list of a bunch of different tips to your ideal client on what they should be thinking about? Any tips on how to promote? Any tips on how they could get better use of journalism? Anything that's like a stupid question that people ask a lot? Well, I don't believe in stupid questions, but if you have any tips for those people, just raffle them off real quick. You don't even need to do a 1-2.
So tips for them would be streamline what you actually want to do some organization of yourself, because your time is really, really valuable. And if you're making content and that content is not getting watched, if nobody cares about your content, why are you making it? Like Austin, you were saying, don't, if people are just scrolling past it, it means they're not taking any action. You have to figure out what's going on there, what action you want them to take, and how do they take it.
Yeah.
If you are somebody who wants people to come to your concert, how do you sell more tickets versus if you sell stickers on Printify? These are different things you want to do.
I sell stickers on Printify.
Yeah, well, I sell stickers too. So,
Wow.
but it's like
Gang.
like that, yeah. And so make your content and make your effort actually work for you, and that's
Right.
what my journal is bringing. Because if all you have to do is plug this information in once, you don't have to go on all the different social media sites and post it. That takes a lot of time. You have Hootsuite, all these other things, but you have to pay for them. And number one, you want to save money. Number two, you want to save time.
Right.
So that's
A penny saved is a penny earned.
exactly.
Unless it's a business expense. Then you could just willy-nilly write off everything and go broke.
You can, but eventually you do have to make money. And that's the one thing. In order to do the write-offs, you have to make money.
That most important thing is sales. And what's something that you think is like a good tip for people getting sales in like your industry, especially with like events and doing like blogging?
I'd say, really, if you really enjoy it, then you're going to love it, and you're going to wake up every morning thinking to yourself, like, hey, I'm so glad I get to work with these people, and I get to meet them, and I get to find out cool things. And I think that's really when it's working for you, is when you actually do enjoy the things you're doing. Even if, I have to sit down, write articles, but even I find that fun in a lot of ways and productive. So if you can really motivate yourself to work anyway, then this is any business you do will be great.
Yeah, I hate my life, but when I have free time, I open up Google Docs and I write out, just 3 paragraphs on something that I, am thinking about, or some tip I have learned, and then I'm able to like publish that as a mini article and create content. Obviously, there's minimums for what does well on Google, so you just add to that until you're like, oh, okay, this is fleshed out. And then you have something that you can help other people with. If you're thinking about your own problems all day and you're ruminating, you hate your life, just like me. I'm kidding. You can actually solve so many problems for other people and take that vulnerability. The strongest people are the vulnerable people who are willing to admit that they have flaws, which is the hardest thing to do.